Welcome everybody. Let's take a look at JSBin as well as how HTML, CSS, and JavaScript work. Okay, so first things first is I'm going to zoom in to about 175 just so that we can see this a little bit better. Okay, now you'll notice at the top we have HTML, we have CSS, we have JavaScript, and I'll just go ahead and click on that. I'll open up the JavaScript window here, and we also have the console as well as output. So what does all this mean? Well, the HTML is a portion of web code that deals with specific parts. And these specific parts are setting up kind of the foundation of what you need. So for instance, if I type in a P and type in some text in here, this is a HTML tag, and this here is a paragraph tag. And all tags need a closing. However, there are a few that do not. Now, if you need to know more about HTML, I do have a 1 hour HTML. This hour is supposed to only focus on JavaScript, but I need to talk about both of these two things here. So we have our HTML, and the way I like to describe this is think of a restaurant. You have a building. And this building is a foundation, it's got some walls, it's got a roof, it's a building. It doesn't really do anything, it doesn't serve food, it doesn't look nice, it's just a building full of concrete and wood and steel, etc. That's what HTML does. HTML sets that up. You can make a site look okay with just HTML. The CSS, what it does is it makes it look pretty. So if I, for example, type in that P with the curly brackets and go to color red, well, you can see that this does run here. Now again, the auto zoom makes it a little bit more difficult to see. Okay, but there you go. You do see that that's red. Now with JavaScript, JavaScript adds in the functionality. So with CSS, going back to our building, the floors are put in, the wallpapers put in, the counters are put in, the tables are put in. Everything is put in to make it look good. The only problem now is it doesn't do anything. There's no ovens, there's no cash registers, there's no computers, there's nothing in this restaurant. JavaScript adds in that functionality. So if you want to make a calculator, you can in theory do it with HTML, but JavaScript adds in that functionality. So we can add in some functionality here. Okay, and I'm just going to add that in. And every JavaScript line ends with a semicolon. Okay. Now the reason why it does that is because this semicolon, it tells the compiler that this line is done. Okay. Now the console is just so that you can kind of, for example, add in and look at specific JavaScript code here, but we're just going to be concerned with the output here. Now if you click run with JS, you will run that JavaScript, and you can see that it says it puts up a pop-up, and that's exactly what this code does. Now JavaScript is a lot more useful than just putting up pop-ups here. So I should also explain how this is all set up. So we go into this alert here. Okay, we have a command, and this command will pop up something within this quote here. Now, what this alert is supposed to do is these quotes mean that it's going to print a string. Now, a string is our characters, and if you want to, let's say, print your name or something like that, you need to use strings. We can go ahead and print variables or numbers, but I'm going to show you how to do that in a different tutorial. What you need to know is that we have an alert, and in this red area is where we go and we can put in and anything that will allow us to run with here. So if we run it again, you'll see that this happens here. Now I'm in Chrome here, and you'll see that this prevent pages from creating additional dialogues. If you click that, you won't be able to pull this anymore because JavaScript is used for that, and then a lot of people abuse the pop-up here. But of course, we're going to be using more and more JavaScript that's a lot more useful.